OK， 第8行，左邊唔該，唔該你繼續舉手，keep your hand up.
First, congratulations on such a great first feature, I guess, which is like crazy. But in general, I think that like the fantastic thing about the film was like it had a really strong comedic tone, but you were also able to like balance dramatic elements. Like, how did you make that tone switch so freely? Like, I know that that's achievable through screenplay, but like to translate it on screen is like a different experience. So I was just wondering how you did that.
Can I do the translation? 問題係呢一個電影裏面有好多喜劇成分，亦都好多好戲劇性嘅成分。導演亦都係其中一位編劇 ，you're a co-writer, right? Co-screenwriter.
Yes.
亦都係聯合編劇之一。咁想知道啲喜劇成分同埋個戲劇性成分係點樣將佢混合埋一齊咧？點樣將佢哋可以合併？
It was a lot of trial and error, I think, through the editing process. You know, we screened the film almost every week. We would just screen the film for friends, family, whoever was around.
其實咧係我哋可以做過好多嘗試。咁其實當時喺剪片嗰陣時，每個禮拜都有唔同嘅版本俾我哋嘅朋友睇，咁睇下佢哋有啲咩回應。
So there were cuts where we were more successful than others, and we learned where it was working, where it was not working, and we were able to kind of adjust. Thankfully, we had really great actors, so we had a lot of different takes that we could use. If something wasn't working, we'd go back to the footage and see if we could find something that was maybe a little bit better. Try that, and then if that worked, then we keep that and go to the next cut.
咁你可以想象啦，唔同剪接出嚟嘅效果唔同。咁當我哋會知道某一啲係相當之成功，啲人好受落；第二啲人你唔受落嘅話，我哋就試第二啲 take 擺落去。好彩我哋呢度嘅電影裏邊各位演員都好好啦，咁所以咧好多唔同嘅 take， 亦都好多唔同版本，因此可以不同咁剪接。
What she said.
Yes, thank you. Okay, another question. Middle, there's a lady with long hair. Middle lady with long hair. Can you keep on having your hand up? Lady with long hair? Yes. And then after her, I think 2 rows behind, there's somebody else with short hair. Thank you. Sorry, I can't tell.
Hi, congratulations on such a great film. I know it's been getting like some really amazing reviews, and I really enjoyed it. I have 2 questions, if you don't mind. The first one was that I know for Elizabeth Olsen, Audrey Plaza said in an interview that like a reason she was being cast was because people could believe her as like the perfect girl. And also I was wondering like what kind of like aspect or quality that you saw in her that can make like people sort of like believe that. Also another question I had was is there any like personal anecdote that really resonated with you like when you were co-writing the script that made you feel like you had to make a social commentary about the kind of culture that we live in?
I'm sorry, can I just clarify? The first one is actually about Elizabeth Olsen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 第一個問題就係 Elizabeth Olsen 咧，即係我呢個裏邊 Taylor 呢個女仔，咁佢喺某一個訪問嗰陣時曾經講過就係點解佢會有機會話喺呢個電影裏邊係做呢個角色咧，就係因為可能佢喺前面一個所謂一種好完美有一個女仔喺度。咁而第二咧就係喺導演亦都係編劇啦。呢一個戲裏邊雖然有好多嘅喜劇同埋戲劇性，但係其實你都可以想像到，其實佢係一種點講一種係包括咗一種社會嘅評價。The social commentary, but before that was Elizabeth Olsen as perfect.
So to answer your first question, I was a fan of Lizzie's from obviously her dramatic work, but I had seen her on talk shows, and she was always very funny and light and bubbly and sweet. And but I'd never seen her play a character like that. She usually plays sort of dramatic, dark roles. And so I wrote her a letter and sent it with the script that said, you know, I've seen you be really funny on talk shows and stuff, and you know, I think it'd be really fun to see you do a character that was more comedic. And when I met with her, you know, she having grown up in LA, she knew a lot of people like Taylor, and so I think she was able to pull from that
Okay, you wrote a letter, a real letter or an email?
An email.
Okay. 睇過好多 Elizabeth Olsen 嘅電影，咁其實好多佢哋係比較沉重啲嘅，或者係真係做戲啊嚇。咁但係亦都睇過 Olsen 喺好多電視嘅 talk show，咁發現其實佢好幽默、好風趣，可以講到好多笑話，令到人哋聽嗰時覺得好舒服。因此咧就寫咗個電郵 email， 我哋最尾咧會用 email 嚇俾Liz Olsen， 亦都咧俾佢睇個劇本啫嘛。其實想問佢有冇興趣做呢啲電影啦。咁 Liz Olsen 自己本身咧係喺洛杉磯出生同埋長大，咁因此咧其實佢亦都話睇個劇本之後，亦都可以感受到或者感覺到，可以聯想到佢識嘅喺洛杉磯嘅人。Okay, I got the Elizabeth.
And for
second part,
email.
Social commentary. Yeah. Social commentary.
And for the second part, you know, I'm not from LA. I'm from Philly originally, from the East Coast of the U.S. And you know, I've always kind of felt like an outsider in LA. And you know, building your brand, quote unquote, and Instagram and all that stuff is such a big part of the culture there, and I feel like I noticed it a lot, and I noticed how, you know, I use Instagram a lot. It's probably my most used social media app, and I noticed how when I was using it, how it would make me feel very bad about myself sometimes, and like I wasn't cool enough or something, and so I thought it would be interesting to kind of do, you know, we've all seen the stalker movies, like The Single White Female or Talented Mr. Ripley or things, and I thought it would be really interesting to do that, but from, you know, using social media and from the perspective of the stalker, and to see if you could make the audience feel connected to the Ingrid character in a way that maybe would make them feel a little bit uncomfortable. Because I think when we all use Instagram and the social media apps, we're more like, we're all voyeurs, you know, we're all kind of stalking everybody, we're all stalking each other all the time. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting subject for a movie.
我自己係喺費城長大嘅，所以美國東岸。咁所以咧，我喺洛杉磯經常都自己係一個局外人，始終咧好難打入去。咁仲有咧就喺洛杉磯發現咧，好多人咧係用譬如話社交平台啊、social media 啊、Instagram 啊等等，其實去建立佢自己嘅品牌。咁其實每一次你可以想像我自己亦都用好多 Instagram 嚇，係我經常用嘅一個社交平台。咁但係每一次用嗰時，感覺上咧好似覺得自己要夠唔夠 cool 嚇覺得自己係咪真係一個好人，或者係覺得自己有啲心虧。咁其實咧你可以咁樣講嘅，社交平台其實亦都係每一個人偷窺第二人嘅一個機會。Okay, more or less.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. Okay, another question of the gentleman at the back. Yes, gentlemen, I'm sorry I can't see because I only see short hair. I think it is a guy.
I think so.
Sorry, it's really
Yes, it is a guy.
Christ, I forgot my question. It's okay. Yeah. I just want to start out by saying that I'm really not sugarcoating it. I really enjoyed the movie because it really tapped something really personal that I feel about social media. But I just wanted to ask, what's the source of inspiration for the character Ingrid?
Okay, Ingrid 呢個角色嘅靈感喺邊度嚟嘅咧 ？I'm so sorry, I suddenly realized I've also forgot to translate the other part of your other question, your answer just now. 仲有就係佢拍呢個電影其實係用 Ingrid 嗰個角度，希望我哋可以同情 Ingrid 呢個角色。Okay, so that was the last one. Now, Ingrid, an inspiration.
Well, thank you. I think, my girlfriend is an actress in LA, and so I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram, or I did, and I had maybe like 500 followers. That was not a lot. And she had, 60 or 100,000.
Okay. 我女朋友係演員喺 LA， 我女朋友嘅 Instagram follower 有6萬60 and 100,000 is a huge difference. Is it 60 or is it 100?
I don't remember.
大約係6萬至10萬個人。
It might be 160,000.
或者係16萬。
Oh, just a lot.
好多好多啦嚇！我女朋友就好多 follow， 所以好多人跟佢。咁但係我自己咧就只得500個。
And I, just seeing how she the difference between how I interacted with people on social media versus the type of interactions that she had on social media. Being someone in the public eye with people who are fans or followers or whatever. So there's some people who maybe have some boundary issues and don't, understand that maybe what they're seeing on the app isn't quite reality. And I thought, that was sort of really inspirational.
因為女朋友你哋別因為女朋友佢有咁多人followers，因此亦都睇得到其實咧第一方面咧就係實在啲咩人去跟佢哋咧，同埋實在係某一啲人一定喺某程度之下佢會有一個所謂界限 boundary， 咁個 boundary 個界限喺邊個位 ？Yeah. Okay. Another question right up front. 第一行唔該。Sorry. Down. And also, I forgot, anybody who asks a question gets a tote bag.
Yes, sir.
Ask the question, then get the tote bag.
Thank you for the great film. I actually feel so sad and also so happy at the same time. So sad for it being so real and so hurtful. The edge of the knife, and I feel like for the social media nowadays has sometimes it brings out the worst part in us, making us becoming the performers of our life. And my question is, I'm pretty sure that you have compared notes with Jeff, with the two films being the leading ladies being Miss Plaza herself and also the producer of the film. So how is it working with your leading lady being your producer?
Okay. I will just translate the question. 通通都係好讚嘅嘢啦，如果你哋聽唔明嘅話，都冇所謂啦。Okay, the most important thing is that 因為咧發現 Aubrey Plaza 其實除咗係呢個電影嘅女主角之外，亦都係監製。咁所以想知道導演同 Aubrey Plaza 嘅工作關係如何？
It was honestly a pleasure. This is my first film, and she's made many films, and when we first met and talked about the film, I felt like she totally understood what I was trying to do, and we were totally on the same page. So there was no friction there in terms of us wanting to make the same different movies or something like that.
相當好嘅經驗，大家嘅想法好一致，亦都冇乜所謂嘅摩擦啊等等，好似咧係由一開始呢個項目一開始就好多嘢都有共識。
And Aubrey went to film school to study to be a filmmaker, not necessarily an actress, and she sort of fell into acting later. And you can tell when you talk to her, she really understands the filmmaking process really well. And so, it was really helpful to have her, for example, in the post process. And there were instances where she was giving notes on the film and was really challenging me and pushing me in directions that maybe I wouldn't have gone in if she hadn't been there. Not just focusing on her performance, but the entire film.
Aubrey 係好有經驗嘅，仲有佢當時係真係主修電影，所以後嚟先至所謂係真係做一個演員嘅。咁其實因為佢主修電影，佢對電影係好熟悉，因此係尤其喺後期嗰段時間，後期嘅過程、後期嘅工作，佢係好多提點，甚至有時咧係挑戰或者係特別要我哋導演去試一啲佢冇試過嘅嘢，咁其實係好事。
And any small indie movie, it's a miracle that they even get made because it's so hard, and it's hard to get people to trust a first-time filmmaker. It's hard to raise money, so you need kind of that guardian angel who comes down and says, "Okay, this, I bless this movie in a sense." So having her bless the movie was a very huge thing for me personally. To have somebody like Aubrey say, "I believe in this person to make this film," that was really important for me.
做獨立電影已經夠難啦，仲有第一次拍電影，你點可以使到人哋有信心肯投資同埋肯支持你咧？所以 Aubrey 甚至係好似喺我身邊喺我膊頭隔離嗰個天使咁樣。 Angel. I do the angel.
Okay.
Okay.
Angel.
Angel. Okay. And, another question here.
Get your
Yeah,
tote bag.
yeah. Get your, make sure you get your. Oh,
yeah.
you got your tote bag. Good. I want to make sure. Okay. The gentleman in the middle first, and then after that, one row ahead with the hand. Okay, good.
Hi, I saw in the credits you had the Alexa thing. Somebody just asked me your question. So, which camera exactly did you shoot on, and then why? I guess why did you choose that one, or how did you arrive at that?
Okay, 攝影機問題，用咩攝影機？點解？
So I made a short film a few years ago called "It's Not You, It's Me" that played at South by Southwest, and I shot on the Alexa XT, I believe, with Panavision anamorphic lenses.
Whoa, I'm not going to translate
Okay.
that. 總之係幾年前
You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
用 Alexa XT whatever
Yeah.
嚇係短片嚟嘅，幾年前喺 South by Southwest。
So basically, I wanted to shoot. I was comfortable using that camera, and I didn't want to try out a whole new camera on my first film. So I used the camera that. But I like the look of that camera, and especially with the anamorphic lenses. You know, they're older lenses, and the way they work with digital, I feel like they lend the image a less sharp digital quality and more of a film quality. So I wanted that look for this film, so that's why we went with that.
形容翻同一個攝影機，咁仲要咧係個 lens 個鏡頭，使到有一啲接近復古嘅感覺，就唔係太過數碼化。That's all I can do. Okay, another question? Yeah.
Hi Matt, great film.
Thank you.
I would like to ask that, do you think if you switch the two actresses for the two main roles still work? And also, you said you made so many takes, and is there any point in the process of the filmmaking you were trying to go to another direction at the ending perhaps?
OK，兩個問題，第一個問題就係若果兩個女主角對調，會係點樣？第二個問題咧就係因為似乎導演當時喺拍嗰陣時係用咗好多唔同 take， 想知唔知道咧？想知道喺不同嘅 take 裏面有冇或者係最後結局係有另外一個結局嘅版本咧
What was the first part of the question?
You switch the two girls.
Oh, right. I don't know. It's hard for me now to imagine anyone other than Aubrey playing Ingrid. To me, they're the same person.
Aubrey 就等於 Ingrid， 所以好難想像。
So I can't imagine that. Not that I don't think that Lizzie's a great actress and could play anything. Just for me, it's hard to imagine that. And for your second question, the ending, it's funny. A lot of people were very nervous about the ending, but the ending that we shot is pretty much what was in the script that we sent out. We did try different versions of the ending, but none of them felt quite right to me, and none of them got as good of a response from the audience as this one. And it was always, there was no ending that was unanimously everybody liked. It was always very divisive. Whether it was more happy or more sad, it still divided people. And so I said, well, if it's just going to divide people, I might as well just go with the one that I like the most. So.
原劇本嘅結局係咁樣嘅，雖然我哋喺拍嗰陣時都探索過第二啲唔同嘅結局，咁其實主要就係你冇可能係全部人都會中意嘅，一定會有啲人中意，有啲人係一個好嘅 happy ending， 有啲覺得個唔夠好嘅 happy ending 唔中意嘅。咁但係橫掂都係咁落，不如係用翻真係原劇本稿裏邊嘅 ending。Okay, good. Another question? Last question? 2 more questions? How many more?
How many tote bags do we have left?
I know, I was wondering. Okay, we have 2 here.
Oh, in the back. We got the hand up.
Okay. Looks like we have at least 3 questions. In the back, and then there. So let's start with in the back, and then we'll go back to them. In the back, keep your hand up. Last 2 rows.
Oh, in the back? Yeah, there we go.
最後中間
white shirt.
踎咩耳行係嘛 ？Okay, 咩耳行 ？Thank you.
You still have 10 minutes.
Oh, we have 10 more minutes. Do you have enough tote bags?